Imagine this. You're just a kid, 15 years old, full of dreams and passions, skateboards, comics, Pokémon cards, the works. Then out of nowhere, your mom's new boyfriend moves in and turns your world into a nightmare. He trashes your stuff, beats you senseless, and even calls the cops on you for taking a few bucks to eat. But years later, fate flips the script, and you get to watch him crumble. This is the story of how one guy's abusive stepfather finally got what he deserved. Buckle up, because this revenge is ice cold and oh so satisfying. It all started when I was 15. My mom had been single for a while, and she met this guy on a dating site. Let's call him, well, the evil stepfather. The first time I met him, something felt off. He had this smug look, like he owned the place already. And sure enough, 2 months later, he moved into our house. I tried to give him a chance, but it didn't take long for the mask to slip. About 3 weeks after he unpacked his boxes, I came home from school to find the garage empty. My skateboards? Gone. The halfpipe I'd built myself in the backyard? Dismantled and dumped. My ramps, my BMX bike, my ice hockey gear, everything I'd saved up for or poured my heart into. Poof. Vanished. He just shrugged and said, "I don't want all your crap cluttering up my garage." His garage? We'd lived there for years. That was the first sign this guy was a control freak with a mean streak. Things got worse fast. Maybe 2 months in, we're at dinner, and I get up to grab something without asking permission. Bam! He punches me right in the stomach. I doubled over, gasping, while my mom just sat there, eyes down. That was the start. From then on, any tiny thing set him off. Forgot to say sir? A slap. Looked at him wrong? A full beatdown. I was bruises and fear, walking on eggshells in my own home. And he wasn't done destroying what I loved. One day, he decided I was too much of a nerd. He raided my room and hauled away my entire Pokémon card collection, hundreds of cards. I'd traded and collected for years. My comics? A massive stack, from Spider-Man to X-Men, gone. My Game Boy, my PS2 with all the games, even my fantasy and sci-fi books. Everything tossed because, in his words, 15-year-old boys should be playing football and baseball, not being a fatted nerd playing with Pokémon, cards and reading comics. The hate in his voice, it cut deeper than the punches. Get this, the guy was a middle school teacher. Yeah, the kind who shapes young minds during the day. And in his off time, he refereed and umpired local sports games for middle and high school kids. Hypocrite much? He preached discipline and teamwork, but at home, he was a tyrant. My mom? She never stepped in. Worse, she went along with it. He convinced her to stop giving me lunch money, saying I'd just blow it on comics and other gay shit. So I'd go to school hungry, stomach growling through class, while he stuffed his face at dinner. I felt invisible, worthless. Then came the breaking point. I was starving, so I dipped into his change. Jar, maybe $3 and some coins, to buy a slice of pizza and fruit punch at lunch. Not a fortune, right? But my twin sister, who'd always been a bit of a bully herself, blackmailed me over chores. When I refused, she ratted me out. He exploded, called the police, pressed larceny charges against his girlfriend's 15-year-old son for pocket change. The cops came, took statements, and left. Then he really let loose, beat me until I could barely stand. I couldn't take it anymore. I ran away that night, hiding out wherever I could, but the cops found me, dragged me back. By then, he was whispering in my mom's ear about sending me to military school, someplace to straighten me out. I ran again, and again. Between the runaways and that bogus charge, I ended up in juvenile detention. I turned 16 behind bars, alone and broken. Those next couple years, hell. Miserable, terrified, suicidal thoughts creeping in every night. I got out eventually, went no contact with my mom for years. Built my life from scratch. Got into weightlifting, bulked up. When we finally reconciled, she was married to him. But I was bigger now, stronger. He didn't try the flinching games or punches anymore. We just ignored each other, like ghosts in the same room. Life kept moving. Then the bomb dropped. Mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She didn't want to waste her last days with him. Had a lawyer draw up a separation agreement, he'd get a lump sum. 45 days to grab his stuff from the house. Turns out he'd blown his inheritance in 6 months flat. Sold his mom's old house to pay debts right before meeting my mom. She bought it back from the bank as a gift before they wed. In the split, she let him keep it. He moved back into his childhood home, probably thinking he'd won. Mom passed 9 months later. Despite the agreement, she'd been letting him come by piecemeal for his belongings. I shut that down hard. The deadline had passed. Everything left was legally mine. Jackpot. First, his baseball card collection. Mint condition, worth around 14 grand. Sold it all. Then his autographed sports memorabilia. Another 11K easy. His woodworking setup? Tools, equipment, even finished furniture pieces he'd crafted himself. Pulled in about $6,500. I kept some treasures. His mom's engagement ring, platinum with 3 diamonds, maybe 2 carats total, her wedding band. His coin collection, I collect coins too, so that felt poetic. Some tools and odds and ends for good measure. But the real revenge? That came later. About a month ago, I spotted him at the grocery store. Heart racing. I waited till he was heading to his car, then approached. "Hey," I said casually, "just so you know, I sold all your collections." His face twisted. Rage, shock, disbelief. Exactly as I'd pictured. He swung at me, wild punches flying. I had my phone out, dialing 911 before the first one landed. A few missed. The ones that connected? Pathetic. He's in his 60s now, weak. I'm not that skinny kid anymore. He kept coming, even ramming his cart into my new Toyota as I talked to the operator. Cops pulled up just in time. Arrested on the spot, assault, communicating threats, destruction of property. Boom, lost his teaching job and pension. That middle school gig, gone. And since he'd never learned to save, always leeching off my mom's wealth, he hired some fancy lawyer, thinking he could beat the charges. Nope. Ended up selling his mom's house to pay the bills. The one she'd left him. The one my mom bought back. Poetic justice. Word spread fast. My nephew on the high school football team told his buddies about the arrest and the childhood abuse. Parents flipped, called the leagues. He got booted from reffing and umpiring. No more strutting on the field. My niece and my girlfriend's little sister go to his old school. They say he was hated there, mean to kids, power tripping. When he came to clear out his office, he caused a scene. Ended up bawling hysterically as he left. Kids in summer school saw it all, spread the gossip. His own son, the one he'd abused too, refused to help. Wouldn't take him in, wouldn't lend a dime. So now, the great stepfather works as a Walmart cashier. Lives in a crappy trailer in the sketchiest neighborhood. Barely scraping by. And me? That Walmart's not even the closest to my house. But it's the only one I shop at now. I wait in longer lines just to go through his. First time, he tried scanning items twice, overcharging me. I called him out, got a manager. He played it off as an accident. But he knows I know. Second time, I was extra polite. He was rude as hell. Snapping, slamming stuff. People behind me backed me up when I asked for the manager again. Got him in hot water. Every visit I see it in his eyes. That spark dying a little more. The defeat, it fuels me. Sometimes I'll pull out exact change. Then oops, spot a rare coin from his old collection in my pocket. Guess I'll use the card instead. His face? Priceless. Just sold his fancy ratcheting wrench set. Monday when he's working, I'm buying my daughter one of their top above-ground pools. As he rings it up, I'll say, I know she'll love this. It's not like I'd ever use those expensive ratcheting wrenches anyway. This man stole my childhood, my joy, my safety. Now I get to watch him pay. Every scan, every fake smile. Revenge isn't always quick, but when it's this thorough, it's sweet. TLDR. Asshole stepfather trashed my prized possessions as a kid and beat me regularly. I ended up with his stuff. Sold most of it, and when I told him, he assaulted me in public, leading to charges, job loss, and losing his house. Now I shop at his Walmart just to rub it in. If this story hit you hard, drop a like, subscribe for more Reddit revenges, and share your own in the comments. Has anyone dealt with a toxic step-parent?